The smuggling of illegal immigrants into Poland and then into Western Europe was organized on the pattern of a professional spy network. There were 3 or 4 operating links. The first was immigrant recruiters operating in Africa and Middle Eastern countries. The second one was made up of people involved in transporting them through Russia and Belarus. The third, smugglers transporting foreigners through Poland. These are the conclusions after analyzing new facts revealed in the smuggling scandal case. A person who doesn't have any money is not flown to Western Europe or Poland, so the first link recruits people who are able to pay for their trip. Messages intercepted from the smugglers' phones show that they were mainly targeting young men who are able to pay for the entire trip. 60 euro bills, 60 bills of 100 euros, 6,000 euros. He wants the smugglers to take the money, but only in the light of God. That is reasonable. The new details of the smuggling scandal that have been revealed also show that 130 phone numbers were registered in Poland on false data. Based on their logging, it was determined that the migrants were transported through Poland via 3 main routes: the Russian route, leading from the tri-junction of the borders of Poland, Lithuania, and Russia to the Wałbrzych area, the Baltic route, which also indicates a role for Polish ports in the smuggling, and the Belarusian route, also leading from the northeast to the southwest. One such phone was found in the car of smugglers arrested in 2022. The vehicle was driven the previous day during the arrest by defendants Kamila M. as driver, Mariusz C. as passenger, and immigrants, an Egyptian citizen and 2 Iraqi citizens. The phone was revealed under the driver's windshield wiper, indicating that it had been hidden and was a very important source of contacts for the defendants. The disclosed conversations also contain instructions for smugglers. Often, their authors used ciphers, and the communicators were set up so that the correspondence would be automatically deleted after a certain period of time. Here I see the hand of a man of service, or a man who is simply interested in the rules of secure communication, that is, the use of ciphers. The next issue is that on the open channel, as they write among themselves, they use alternate terms like doggy, for adoption on the way, doggy still at the vet, and for adoption, there is a doggy and 2 kittens. Dog, in the jargon of smugglers, meant a man. Cats meant women and children. They were sent to apartments in Poland, where as part of the third link, they were given emergency assistance. These places were referred to in correspondence as good houses. The instructions to the hosts of the good houses included 3 points: that these guests were to stay for a short time, that they should be given something to eat, and allowed to wash up. An interesting point, which Professor Sławomir Cęckiewicz pointed out on the air of TV Republica, was the contact to the so-called coordinator. If helping a guest exceeds your financial, premises, or emotional capacity, phone call to the coordinator. What does it mean if helping a guest exceeds your financial capabilities? It means that outside of local or state government premises, which is indicated here, is somehow a no when it comes to this, or according to the principle that the darkest place is under the lantern. That is, there must be volunteers who offer to hold these people temporarily under their roof. The smuggling was also supposed to be financed with money from collections organized among Polish people who believed the narrative about poor refugees camping out with entire families in the border forests. Instructions intercepted from phones also included how to use smuggled women and children to evoke pity. There is an important point, Sister E, when it comes to the photo. If you can, to make the photo better and show a certain idea. Instead of taking a photo at home, if you can take a picture of her somewhere outside, next to, for example, trees, so that it shows that it is taken, for example, in the forest or in a place near the forest. Further instructions were given to drivers. They were, for example, to refuel their cars before taking the migrants, and not to stop at gas stations during their transport. Foreigners traveled in the back seats and bent below the level of the windshields when passing police cars or border guards. From the very beginning, we have said that we are not dealing here with any natural migration crisis, but a cynical game and operation conducted in accordance with the logic and tactics of intelligence operations. After all, the force structures of Russia and Belarus, which we saw on the front line right across our border with Belarus, were responsible for these actions. The Law and Justice government and its subordinate services responded immediately immediately by successfully defending the border, but the narrative of the Russian services and the smuggling group Border was echoed by politicians of the Civic Platform, headed by Donald Tusk. The only idea they have at the moment for this situation on the border is to utter again these words, which are actually embarrassing, that Poland will defend itself. It's as if these people have declared war on us. These are poor people who are looking for their place on earth, and there is no need to do this kind of disgusting, grim propaganda targeting immigrants, because these are people who need help. Today, one of the alleged members of the border group, Klementyna Suchanov, is an expert on both the Commission on Alleged Repression under the Law and Justice government and the Commission on Russian and Belarusian Influence, and Bartosz Kramek, whose name also appears in the files of the case of smugglers of illegal migrants, attended a meeting with Justice Minister Adam Bodnar the day before yesterday. Certainly, Donald Tusk's political communication is simply worthless. That is, the people who were allies of his actions during the period when Poland was under such an onslaught of illegal migrants, and he was attacking the Polish government at that time, just like Kramek, Suchanov, and others. Today, with all the change in these communications, they are his political backers. The names of German politicians also appear in the disclosed correspondence of the smugglers, but when Patryk Jaki tried to inform the European Parliament about the case, his microphone was turned off. The problem is that the names of current MEPs also appear in these SMS messages, revealed on Signal Messenger, and this matter should be urgently clarified. No, this is not a formal motion, so let's move on to the vote. As early as June 2022, NATO too recognized the migrant crisis on the Polish-Belarusian border as part of Russia's hybrid war targeting Poland and Western European countries.
Der mutmaßliche Messerstecher von
Bielefeld, North Rhine-Westphalia. Saturday night, restaurants and pubs full of people. Fans are celebrating the local team's rise to first place in the third league table. That's where 35-year-old Mahmoud M., an immigrant from Syria, is looking out for his victims. In his backpack, he has leaflets, newspaper clippings, and books, all referring to Islamic Jihad. After the attack, the man flees. Police officers launch a manhunt. They apprehend him on Tuesday afternoon. He tried to flee the country.
Mahmoud M.
This is where the problems begin. First, police are trying to determine who the man is. According to reporters during the interrogation, using the translator on his phone, he answers that he is a member of the Islamic State. Second, during the course of the investigation, it turns out that the man is functioning in police databases under 8 different profiles. No one verified the data he provided. Of course, everything is related, solely and exclusively to immigration. Mass uncontrolled migration has led to issues that are matters of honor for migrants being resolved with harsh tools. The problem of knife attacks in Germany is growing month by month. On this one day alone, there were 15 knife attacks. In the past month, from April 23rd till today, there have been up to 313 such attacks, including the murder of a 41-year-old Polish woman by an Afghan immigrant. Since the beginning of the year in Germany, more than 1,500 knife attacks have been recorded. It was much to the surprise of a resident of the Norwegian town of Benesse when he spotted the prow of a 135-meter container ship in his garden in the morning. The ship had run aground right in front of his windows. Although the incident could have ended tragically, as the ship hit the shore at 30 kilometers per hour. No one was hurt, and property damage was limited to the surroundings of Johan Helberg's property. I was semi-conscious and heard a ship that I thought was passing by, so I just wanted to get up and look out the bedroom window. I waved that way. I shouted, "Hey, hey!" I whistled. Nothing helped. I sleep very well. I always slept well at night. I was awakened by an annoying doorbell. It was a terrified neighbor talking about some kind of ship. The first attempts to remove the ship from the shallows failed. Police and the Norwegian Maritime Authority are investigating, looking into all possible scenarios, from technical failure to human error. At the same time, the North Sea Container Line, the owner of the vessel, rules out intentional action and assures that finding the culprits for parking the ship in the backyard is a standard procedure. The auction includes 150 items. Standout items include a silver cup used by the emperor during the Battle of Waterloo.
This is the sleeve of the iconic coat of Napoleon. Here is one of his beds during his military campaigns, the painting of Napoleon crossing the Alps. This is the eagle given to Napoleon during his battle to every troop of his army.
Also among the exhibits is the imperial throne, the last one in private hands.
I would say that the most iconic piece of the cell is the throne that we have in Hong Kong. It's the last throne still in private hands now. So the other ones are in a very important museum, like in the Louvre in Paris. So this auction is like you are in a journey in Napoleon, you know, because it's a collection with major pieces from every major step of Napoleon's life. I would say, you know, you have some pieces from Waterloo, you have major pieces from his reign in Italy, major pieces from his campaigns, his military campaigns.
The collection includes a wide range of objects, including furniture, silver, porcelain, sculptures, paintings by old masters, books, and drawings, which help modern scholars delve into the emperor's intimate inner world.